Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Preet Bharara, and I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. In too many of our communities, heroin is back with a vengeance, but so are we. And that's why we are here today to announce the unsealing of 9 federal indictments charging 34 defendants with participating in a variety of narcotics and firearms offenses in Sullivan County, New York, and in particular in Monticello. Several of the indictments charge major drug distribution conspiracies, including conspiracies to distribute large quantities of crack cocaine, but especially heroin. Many of the defendants are charged with firearms offenses as well. Some are convicted felons who are prohibited under federal law from carrying guns, and some are charged with using their guns to protect their drugs and also protect their drug money. With the federal charges brought today, we seek to neutralize at least 4 different drug rings that have been operating for years based in Monticello, but extending their tentacles outward to large parts of Sullivan County. First, Frederick Gang and his crew allegedly have been flooding Sullivan County with crack cocaine going as far back as 2007. Second, Darcy Copeland and his crew allegedly have been selling kilogram quantities of heroin since at least 2011, sometimes taking guns as payment for drugs and continuing their drug distribution operations even after Copeland got locked up on state charges in July 2014. Third, another crew led at various times by Darnell Sanders, Errol Davis, and Jamal McIntosh have allegedly distributed massive quantities of both crack and heroin since at least 2012. And finally, another sprawling web of alleged heroin dealers supplied by Harmeen Nix, Damon Mitchell Sr., and Ramon Nunez, as alleged, have been operating throughout Monticello and the rest of the Sullivan County area continuously for years. The arrests today directed at all of those networks are the product of really remarkable cooperation among federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. I want to thank a number of people who brought us to this point, and we're not yet finished. I want to thank Sullivan County District Attorney Jim Farrell, FBI Assistant Director in Charge Diego Rodriguez, Special Agent in Charge of Homeland Security's Investigations Raymond Parmer, Commander Jamie Kaminsky of the New York State Police, Sullivan County Sheriff Michael Schiff, Village of Monticello Police Chief Robert Meir, Village of Liberty Police Chief Scott Kinney, and the Fallsburg Police Department. I want to recognize in particular District Attorney Farrell, whose office is also announcing a number of related charges and arrests today. For a case like this, where we are trying to help local communities, we really can't succeed unless we all work together and along with local district attorneys' offices. And from the beginning, D.A. Farrell has been our partner in this, and I'm grateful to him, as are we all, for his assistance. I also want to commend, of course, the outstanding work of the career prosecutors in my office on this case, Assistant U.S. Attorneys Michael Gerber, Max Nicholas, Juan Shin, and Jennifer Beidel, supervised by Mimi Roca and Perry Carbone, the co-chiefs of the White Plains Division. Now, this investigation began over a year ago when a group of federal, state, and local law officers came to us and said, if we work together, if we combine our resources and our expertise of our office and the FBI with the on-the-ground knowledge and experience of state and local law enforcement officers, we can really make a difference in Sullivan County. And that's what we're doing today. We can identify a number of criminal organizations there that are flooding the streets with crack and heroin and running around with illegal guns, and that's not good for anybody. And that's what this investigation and these prosecutions are really all about, getting drugs and illegal guns off the streets and making a difference in Monticello and in the rest of Sullivan County. We often talk about the harm caused by drugs, but sometimes it's difficult to appreciate exactly how much damage is wrought, particularly by heroin in counties and areas like Sullivan County. We have seen a significant increase in heroin use throughout the district. You can read this in newspaper articles almost every week throughout New York State and around the country, and we're seeing it in particular here in our district. We are seeing more overdoses and, tragically, more fatal overdoses. There has been, as I've said before, a 110% increase in heroin seizures in New York since 2009. These levels are higher than in any year since 1991. Last year, by the way, heroin deaths outpaced homicides in New York City. That's the kind of problem that we're talking about. And to give you a little bit of a sense of the significance of the heroin charges we bring today for the communities affected by them, let me ask you to consider the following. To put it in perspective, Monticello has about 6,700 residents. New York City has about 8.4 million. On a per capita basis, just selling 1 kilogram or 1,000 grams of heroin in Monticello would be the equivalent of dumping over 1,200 kilograms or 1.2 million grams of heroin in New York City. So what that tells you is that the type of drug crimes committed that we are charging today, operating in more sparsely populated areas, can have a really devastating impact on an entire community. The defendants who sold these drugs were profiting on that devastation. One report I saw recently quoted from a coroner who says he estimates that 25% of all deaths in Sullivan County are drug-related. So again, that's the kind of problem that we're talking about and that all the people standing up here and the agencies they represent are trying to stop. This is not the end of this investigation. We are just getting started. We have more cases in the pipeline, and our message to the people of Sullivan County is this: there will continue to be a sustained federal presence in the county. Day in and day out, we are working to keep your streets safe and drug-free because you deserve no less. Now let me call to the podium my friend and partner in so many cases, including this investigation, Diego Rodriguez, the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI office in New York.
Thank you, Preet. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Diego Rodriguez. I'm the Assistant Director in charge of the New York Field Office. We're here today to let the good people of Sullivan County know that the streets are safer, their families are safer, and we're one step closer to eliminating the drugs and violence that threaten the future and stability of their great community. Today's charge describes an alleged conspiracy to distribute crack and heroin in and around Monticello and other locations in Sullivan County. The defendants allegedly used and carried firearms while dealing illegal substances. Some are alleged to have received guns as payment for drug distribution. Others are charged with maintaining the conspiracy behind the very bars that meant to hold them accountable for other crimes. Infecting our neighborhoods with drugs peddled by criminals who arm their sales force with guns is a violent and dangerous combination. Today, the FBI and our partners has significantly disrupted the intentions of those whose actions contribute to the breakdown of a lawful society. While we have a lot more work to do, this operation is a giant step in the right direction. Many thanks, as always, to our partners in all our investigations, U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara, White Plains Chiefs Mimi Roca and Perry Carbone, Assistant U.S. Attorneys Michael Gerber, Max Nicholas, Juan Chin, and Jennifer Bidell, the New York State Police, Troop F, Sullivan County District Attorney's Office, Sullivan County's Sheriff's Office, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Village of Monticello Police Department, Village of South Fallsburg Police Department, and Village of Liberty Police Department. I would also like to thank and congratulate the investigative team that worked together on this case. New York State Police Investigator William Young, FBI Special Agent Lionel Merthel, and Supervisory Senior Resident Agent Philip Orengo for their work on this important investigation. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Now I want to call to the podium District Attorney Jim Farrell.
Thank you. Sullivan County, like the rest of our country, is not immune from the scourge of heroin and other dangerous narcotic drug activity and threats that they pose to our rural community. These drugs, we know, destroy lives, they rip apart families, and they fuel a cycle of violence that threatens our safety and our security. Today, in close collaboration with our federal law enforcement counterparts, we have disrupted, dismantled, and put out of business a significant heroin and crack cocaine trafficking operation in our rural county. When I think about this case, I think about three words. I think about cooperation, I think about commitment, and I think about community. They say that the difference between success and failure is a great team, and this investigation is no different. This is truly a great team that has been assembled here. Combining resources, intelligence, and manpower at various levels of law enforcement to focus on a particular problem that we have in our community. Drugs, guns, and violence is a smart and effective way to combat crime. And extraordinary results can be accomplished by that collaboration, that cooperation, and coordination by law enforcement and prosecutors at every level. Over this last year, this joint investigation has focused on local dealers in Sullivan County and local suppliers of heroin and cocaine. And now we are going to hold these people accountable for their actions. This investigation would not have been possible but for the hard work of a number of different agencies, and they've been mentioned, but I need to say them again. We've had buy-in, and sometimes you don't get buy-in on joint investigations. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes there's that routine situation where everybody says, no, this is my area. This is all of our areas. And we had buy-in from the beginning from everyone. The Village of Liberty, Chief Scott Kinney is here. The Village of Monticello, Chief Robert Meir is here. The Town of Fallsburg, Chief Simi Williams. Our Sheriff's Department, led by Michael Schiff. Our New York State Police, led by Superintendent D'Amico. And our federal counterparts. We want you in Sullivan County. We welcome you to Sullivan County. We need you in Sullivan County. So I would like to thank the FBI. I'd like to thank Phil Arango for all the hard work that he's put into this investigation. I'd like to thank the Hudson Valley Safe Streets Task Force because it's aptly named. It's to make our streets safe, and it's doing just that. There were 4 individuals that I have to single out in terms of their driving force locally in this investigation. I must do that as the DA. Detective Michael Davis of the Village of Monticello Police Department, Detective Jason Gore of the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, Detective Stephen DeGata of the Village of Liberty Police Department, and investigator William Young of the New York State Police. They have been a driving force behind this investigation. And look at the results. The results are truly extraordinary. Over 45 individuals arrested. Drugs and guns seized. 21 guns, handguns seized. Over 1/2 kilogram of cocaine, 100 grams of heroin. As the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of Sullivan County, my most serious concern and my most important focus is protecting the citizens of the county that I live in and that I love. And I'll use all the resources at my disposal to do so. I know that the FBI and this U.S. Attorney, Preet Bharara, are as committed to my community as I am. This successful local, county, state, and federal partnership that has been forged as a result of this investigation will move forward unabated, and no one will impede it. Individuals who engage in these dangerous criminal activities and import and distribute these dangerous controlled substances should take notice. All of law enforcement are working together to protect our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And then finally, let me call to the podium New York State Police Zone Commander Jamie Kaminsky.
Today is a great day for the criminal justice system, especially those people that we serve. When we combine the efforts and resources of the federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies to target drug trafficking organizations, today's arrests are the results. We can do things much more highly effective together than we could do independently. We will continue in our partnership with our federal, state, and local agencies to combat the untold incidents of gun violence and addiction to heroin in the Sullivan County area. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Happy to take any questions. It's the most self-explanatory case we've ever brought. Yeah.
So what sort of impact do you think the actual people of Sullivan County have?
I mean, we'll see that over time, and other folks, including the DA, should address this. But I mean, the point is and the hope is that we accomplish in Sullivan County the same kinds of things we've done in other areas within our jurisdiction, including Yonkers, including Newburgh, including Washington Heights, including areas in the Bronx. And that is that people feel safer when their kids are playing outside and going to school, that people are not as concerned as they might otherwise be, that they're going to be caught by a bullet that wasn't intended for them or maybe was intended for someone that they love. That's the point of all this. It's not just to hold individuals accountable, which is what we do and is our bread and butter, but the reason I talked about a sustained presence, federal presence, and the reason the DA talked about our investigation and actions, that they will not be impeded going forward, is that we don't want people to replace the folks that we investigate, prosecute, and convict, because then we haven't made the community safer. So the hoped impact and the expected impact is that everyone will feel safer and better about their community going forward. I mean, it depends on how. I described 4 distinct drug operations. We have 9 indictments because some of those include gun charges. But I think safe to describe it as 4. Maybe someone else.
We had 24 arrests at different locations, city, street arrests, and then we had 3 search warrants. This morning, yes.
Thanks, everyone.